back by popular demand, I'm here. No, just kidding.
I'm here
Marissa's
too.
Marissa's here and wanted to do something a little bit different today. So Marissa's been in town for about a week. She's gotten a little bit of a taste. I wouldn't call it a taste because she's not tried it, but an insight into flexible eating, and is willing to give it a try.
Yeah.
And I think, like a lot of people that are healthy and fit, they're kind of like, hey, this is working. Why should I make any change? So I have granted her the opportunity to ask me questions about flexible eating. And this might be good for people that are new to this and aren't sure about it. And you could ask me any questions you want. Keep it to flexible eating, not about relationships or religion, just in case you were going to do that. So let's keep it clean and nutrition based.
You got it.
Go ahead, you shoot.
So what exactly is flexible eating?
Ooh, what is flexible eating? So how would I would define it simply as flexible eating is eating the right amount of food to help you thrive, to achieve your goal weight based on your activity level, and eating the right amount of food, meaning your macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Everyone gets their own prescription. You get this many protein, this many grams of carbs, and this many grams of fat. I want you to eat that. How you eat it, when you eat it, etc., is not as important as actually just getting the right amount of food.
Okay. Do you think there's the most important macronutrient, or is it different for everybody?
That's a tough one. I don't think there's a more important. There's obviously three. I tell people you need to hit all three. I wouldn't say one is more important. What I would say is if you're struggling over the course of a day, you're going to go over, you're going to be under, anything like that, hit your protein.
For both men and women?
For men and women. I think protein, obviously the building block for muscle. I think that's, I hate to say it's the most important one, but if you were going to be off for any given reason, chase after that protein, even if your carbs and fats are a little bit funky.
Okay. Why did you start doing it?
Why did I start doing it? And maybe some of you have heard this story, but I just was unhappy with how I was looking, how I was feeling, how I was performing at the box. I'd been all over the spectrum of diets, paleo, zone, clean eating, all that kind of stuff, and heard enough about flexible eating that I knew I wanted to give it a shot. I dove all in and was loving the progress, loving the results, and it's like one of those things where then everyone's like, hey, what are you doing? I want to try it.
How quickly did you personally see results?
Quickly, I'd say, the first result you see is, wow, the first day I started flexible eating, I ate pancakes. And it was like, wow, this is not the first time I'm eating pancakes, but the first time I'm eating pancakes and not looking at it as this is a cheat food. This is...
For somebody like me, that would be so hard.
And I was coming from that same background, but it was like, okay, I need to eat this many carbs. If I can achieve it with pancakes versus broccoli, cool. So I think the first time you see progress is you eat these pancakes or whatever that food is, and you step on the scale the next day and you're like, wow, I didn't gain any weight.
Right.
And then you maybe do it again and you're like, oh, I actually lost a pound. And then, I was about 30 pounds heavier than I am now.
Really?
But, but I had that body type that saw the results in the mirror pretty fast. So, I would say certainly within 2 weeks I saw a change in my composition, but very quickly I saw that change on the scale. And I think a lot of people see that. Maybe it's water, maybe it's just eating the right amount of food makes that scale drop a little bit.
Okay. And how would this change if you did it with a child who's growing?
I get that a lot from moms, and I have a few kids that I work with. I think for one, with children, I definitely keep it less stressful. I'm not about, hit those numbers, you're messing up. Like, you want to make them create and cultivate a positive relationship with food, especially girls. I mean, not that it's a big difference, but
you're right.
We all, see what media can do to girls these days. So I think whether you're a man, woman, or child, eating the right amount of food for your body is going to be key. It's a little harder, say you have a 7-year-old, and if you're trying to get Liam to be his best, we don't know when he's growing, what he needs. So I would say, okay, well, based on what he weighs, he needs to be around these numbers. Let's give him a little buffer, so if he's growing. And then again, I wouldn't necessarily go crazy. As his mom, I'd probably track it for him, or
Right,
you
of
know,
course,
you would
of
track
course,
it for
of
him.
course.
But I would say, especially for children, the trend that I see is, I mean, there's a great movie. I forget what it's called. It's something about sugar, and it's all about how these parents.
Oh, I know what
the
you're
sugar.
talking, yeah.
I think it's called That Sugar Film. If you haven't seen it, watch it. But it's all about yogurts and bars and all these things that are like, this is good, and then all these kids are getting carbs and fat and no protein. So I think getting Liam to eat, you know, or your son or daughter to eat more meat, more fish, more. I wouldn't supplement them personally, but getting them to eat that protein, eggs for breakfast, cheese would be a huge.
So push the protein with children.
You know, push it, give them more. It's, I mean,
Right. And
what
that's
can
funny
he weigh?
because-
60 pounds.
Yeah, he weighs
You know, I
exactly
wouldn't give him like,
Right. Right.
you know, 8 ounces of chicken 5 times. You know, turn him into little Hercules or whatnot. But I would give him. I would make sure for a child at every meal they have some sort of protein.
That's funny because being a clean eater like I am, I do that anyway. So it's nice that we have that in common.
That's all, the first thing we've had in common. So good. What else?
Do you use any supplements or powders or shakes or anything like that?
Not really.
Protein,
Have
okay.
you noticed me using it?
No, but I mean, you personally don't. But do you think? Would you recommend it? Do other people?
I don't have any products that I would say, hey, take this because I think it does anything spectacular for you. You know, my buddy owns Strengthlate, a protein company that I always recommend. And when I do take protein, that's what I take. It's in my cabinet over there. But I probably take it twice a week. You know, when I'm done working out, I eat real food.
So you try to get mostly what you need from food.
I would say I get 90 to 99% of my daily food
I
from
would
just
agree.
food. You know, whether you call it real food or not, a Pop-Tart,
yeah,
I'm not
that's-
taking supplements. And I take a little sometimes branched chain aminos if I'm, you know, working out prior to eating, that type of stuff. But I don't think any, you know, I take fish oil, nothing crazy and nothing that I would say you have to have this. It's just what I like.
And what's the role of water? How important do you think water is in this?
I drink almost 2 gallons a day. And, you know, part of that is because I live in Florida and sweat all day long. But I always used to drink a gallon. I think that was, you know, I probably learned it back at Club Fit back in the day.
I drink a couple bottles myself.
And yeah, you do a great job with your water, and I drink a lot of coffee. So
I drink tea, decaf.
So I don't think it's like the end all be all, and I think, you know, obviously for those of you watching from the CrossFit world, you've seen the battle with water and soda and all that. I think it's important. I think it helps flesh you out. I drink a little bit prior to being thirsty because I like it, but I don't think it's like the end all be all.
What about the older population, like somebody like my dad, who is retired but extremely active? He's thin. I personally think he doesn't eat enough.
Absolutely. I think I've told you this a couple of times. The biggest thing I see, the biggest fault I see in new people that I work with is they don't eat enough, and they think they do. And I'd say that's probably 80 to 90% of the people I first start working with. They're truly just not eating enough food. And obviously your dad's not overweight, but
No.
whether you're looking to put on muscle or you're overweight, you know, the woman that I interviewed last week who was going to get gastric bypass
That was such
surgery.
an amazing story. If you hadn't had a chance to read about that, everybody really should.
You're not getting paid for
I
this.
know.
So even someone like her, she had to eat more food to lose weight.
Amazing.
And, you know, I said 80 to 90%. I would say 99% of the people I work with don't get enough protein to start.
And
So your father, not
he
seeing him
definitely
in
is.
20 years, I promise you does not eat enough. He weighs, what do you think he weighs?
I think, I'm going to guess, I mean, he's very small. He's only 5'2".
It's probably like 140.
140?
Yeah.
If that, 135.
So I would give him somewhere around 120 to 135 grams of protein.
Hear that, Dad? Listen up. Mom,
I know you're watching this.
Mom, get cooking.
My guess is hamburgers, please. My guess is he eats about 50 to 60 grams a day. If that.
If that. I don't think he even comes close, to
Right.
be honest.
If he started, your father, who's 70,
He's 69. But
69, if he started eating more protein, even at 69 years old, with as active as he is, he would start putting muscle on, his body composition would start changing, and he would feel better.
Okay. And I know women are generally concerned, even myself at this age, with osteoporosis, osteopenia, things like that. Do you think this type of eating would help that? Or
I think, of course, getting the right amount of protein, you have to be weight training.
Right.
You have to do some weight-bearing activity.
That was my next question. What is the role of exercise in this? Do you think you could just do this plan, or do you think you should do this and exercise? What do you say?
I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone that exercise isn't going to be beneficial, but I think you have to evaluate your goals. You know, your goal is health and also how you want to look. And,
right.
And for some people, do I think you can be healthy with food? I think food is the foundation. And I think it doesn't matter what you're doing in your garage, at a CrossFit, at Club Fit, if you're not eating right. So I think you have to eat. You know, my true opinion is eat, sleep, stress is the foundation. Exercise comes after that. And I'm, you know me, CrossFitter, care about my performance. But if I'm not doing those three, what's happening in the gym doesn't matter. So you can do this plan. I have couch potatoes, and that's not a great word, but I have sedentary people. I have people that only do yoga. I have people that only do Zumba, and I have high-level CrossFitters. What they're going to eat will be adjusted based on that activity level.
Of course.
But it's for everybody. This is a human being diet. This is eating the right amount of food for your body, whether you're 69, 7, male, female, CrossFitter, professional Zumba, doesn't matter.
It's like a one-stop and shop.
This is a one-stop and shop.
Kind of like Target.
No, Target, you go there and you get too many things. Did I answer all your questions?
You did.
All right,
You did.
well.
Thank you so much for your time and all the information.
It's been a pleasure being on your show, Marissa.
Thank
Please
you.
have me back again.
Yes, I'll have the producer talk to you.
Okay, your people will call my people?
Definitely.
Thank you.